Hey guys, so I'm driving to meet a client right now, and if you haven't watched my other video, it was on the same trip, and my other video talks about paradigm shift. Anyways, this video I'm talking about qualifying someone. Now, this whole concept of qualifying people is such a freaking invaluable concept or skill to have. Something that you should be aware of. Now, what I mentioned it once or twice on Facebook, and people didn't quite understand what I meant, and some people actually feel very offended or the concept. But anyways, I think it's because these people don't really understand. So I'll mention what qualifying is. Okay, so basically, to qualify someone means to make sure that they fall within your standard expectation. Now, how do you know? Now, you're thinking, well, that's easy. Like, I expect this much or whatever. Well, I mean, that's fine. But I'm talking about qualifying as in, you got to put up, like, barriers. And you got to let them jump through these hoops. And then when they jump through these hoops, then you know they can be your client, or they can be your students, or they can be your business partner, or they can be in a relationship with you. Now, it's kind of difficult if you're already in a relationship with someone. So it's always, they always say prevention is better than the cure. And so I wish my dad or someone gave me this advice. And now I found out this concept through a book and through a YouTube video I was watching. And basically the guy's name is Dan Kennedy. He's the father of marketing, basically infomercial. Right? And basically to qualify someone basically means you just want to make sure they meet your expectations so that you can do business with them or be in a relationship with them. Now, when I mention relationship, I'm not just talking about relationship in the sense of like a romantic relationship. It can be a relationship where a business client, relationship student, teacher, etc. Okay. Now, the minute you don't qualify people, you end up fucking taking everyone on board, and it just sucks the quality standards down. Okay. Okay. So what is qualifying? So I'll give you an example. Okay. Like, let's just say you go to a really, really high-end restaurant. What they do is they try to educate people, subtly educate people by saying, hey, this meal, by the time you leave that night, is going to cost you anywhere from $100 to $200, $300 that night, okay? Like, maybe $100 a person after you pay for the tips and crap like that. And so how did they do that? Well, their decor, their lighting, the fact that they make you make a reservation, the fact that there's a dress code, I mean, now people always go, well, that's branding or that's like marketing. No, actually they're qualifying you. Okay, I'll give you another example. When I was in fashion school, right, I went to visit my friend in Montreal, and they brought me to this fashion retailer store. Now, I didn't know this. Basically, they brought me in, and we got kicked out like almost right away. And it's because everything in that store was like freaking all designer clothing. But we're not talking about just your typical off-the-rack designer clothing. We're talking about like Japanese designers, like designers that are from like France, and alternative designers, like designers where these clothing you wouldn't find in America. You might find maybe like 5 stores in the whole America would carry these designer brands, right? And like Issey Miyake, Comme des Garçons, Martin Margiela, and stuff like that. Anyways, and basically you had to get buzzed in. I mean, at one time I walked into a Versace store by accident. It was on Bloor Street in Vancouver, and it was new. And I walked in, and basically I felt so out of place. Because I was making money, but I wasn't making a lot, and I felt so out of place. I mean, the store was so spacious, the flooring, the tiling, the lighting made you felt like, whoa, this is so different. Like, it was nothing like any retail store I've ever been to, right? And like for example, I'll tell you how expensive it is. Like a Versace belt. It was like $400 for a Versace belt. It was just a ridiculous amount. Anyways, now how does this apply to your life? Okay, so or your business. Okay, so and why is it important? I'll tell you why. Okay, so my martial art business, right? In the past, I would just let anyone join, and I expect them to be my students after they join, like, you know, and or learn, or I would educate them, and it was just a major hurdle. Like, there was one time when I first started, I wanted to have students just because I needed, to help offset the overhead cost of my rent. And basically, I had 3 guys who joined, and I literally had to kick them out 6 months later because they were just horsing around. Literally, they were farting in the class. They were joking around. One time, I brought them to a karate tournament, and they were drunk the night before because they were partying too much. And it was just like really, really ridiculous shit, And basically, what I realized was that I wasn't qualifying people. And so now what I do is, if they want to come do a class, I tell them the time. I tell them they need to come to class 15 minutes early, and I tell them they have to pay for the trial class, right? And the trial class is it's not that much. It's like maybe $10 on certain nights, and $15 for other nights, depending on what kind of class we have. And and some parents would bring 2 kids, so I give them a break, and I'll just say, yeah, I'll just charge you 10, But I let them know, like usually I charge 10 per child, but because you have 2 kids, I don't want to, being a parent is a very expensive endeavor. So I said, I'll just charge you guys like $10 for 2 children. And so I want to qualify them because I want to make sure that they understand the value of what I have to offer. Because if they cannot budget or does not value my course enough to find $10 to try the class, then they will not find money for this child to join my school. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what happened. Like in the past, I would let people join for free because the parents would literally call me up and beg and plead and shit like that, and I would let them join. In exchange, they would help me clean. And I kid you not, I had one kid, they told me they were broke, and their grandparents and their mom and everybody drove like freaking Mustang, like fully leather seated, like top of the line cars. The first week he joined, he bought like all these brand new martial art equipment, like freaking brand new stuff that I couldn't even afford to buy, right? And I felt kind of like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I would ask him to clean up, in exchange for training, and he would do like a shitty job, like literally shitty job, right? And so one day I left my camera on, because I wanted to say, hey, what's going on here? I want to know if he's cleaning, or doing a good job or not. And literally, I kid you not, this fucking kid was a lazy ass. He would sit on the punching bag and not clean, and in 10 minutes, and then maybe it took him an hour to mop the floor, and instead of mopping the mat, he would maybe spend literally 5 minutes taking the mat and just running through the mats really quick. Like, you cannot clean the mat in 5 minutes, all right? And it was just so ridiculous, and it just shows that this kid just did not value what I had to offer. You know what I mean? And now, granted, he didn't stay very long. Eventually, these people will filter themselves out. Now, you got to be careful. These people are parasite. They will filter themselves out. They're either parasite, they'll suck every fucking blood out of you. They'll kill you. They will fucking kill you. And they will suck the living hell out of you. They are so bad that they're toxic. They are toxic. Anyways,